volunteered Hannah if she went.
Okay, so we just went back from the saw. I think it was 4 3/8 back from that line. That's how the line went into last time.
Okay.
So you come over an eighth, and I think that came out to 25 inches.
Got a Patriot Dumpster t-shirt over in the store if you really want to feel like you're part of the
Represent, yeah. It's like, man, this guy's got
quite a crew standing around.
9 and
0.6.
9.6, 9.58.
5/8.
Well, good morning, guys, and welcome back to the Building Investors YouTube channel. We're building a staircase, as you can probably already see by now because of all the video footage. But let me turn you around and show you what we got going on so far and the plan for everything, because it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So anyways, let's turn you around and show you. We wanted a real traditional staircase to this place, but we wanted it to be functional as well. So what we've done is we've built the staircase. Obviously, it's not finished, not even close. We've got to build all the steps still. But what we've done is we've made each step, each double step, 2 steps, a box. So there'll be a box. See how this one's kind of like a template here. So you've got 2 steps on this box and then 1 step on this box. So it'll be the same, 2 step, 1 step, 2 step, 1 step, 2 step, 1 step. So each of these will be a cubby, but they'll all be identical. So there'll be a 1 step down here. And then we'll build those boxes on top of those 2 steps. We're going to be adding some braces and supports, and it's held to the wall with a cleat there on the back. The glued and nailed, or glued and screwed and nailed. And then each of these boxes are glued and nailed together as well. That alone would not be enough to step on. These are just only 1/2 inch sanded plywood. The top box here is made for the refrigerator to slide in, so that will slide in nicely. And then on the left side of that box is a slot here. This is going to accommodate the barn door we're going to stick on front of the washing machine here, washer and dryer. So it's going to slide back in there. So that step will be the only step that is not in step with the rest of these. It'll be a different size. So anyways, we're in the middle of cutting the pieces that we cut off of those, because this is 29 1/4. The total width will be 30 inches. Once we add on the face plate here, it'll be 30 inches. And yeah, so we're cutting these boxes at 29 1/4, which leaves a leftover here of this much. And so we can take these, rip them down, and make it these single steps on. Anyways, that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'll bring you back with some more fun stuff when we got it. So we're working on the top step right now. This one's going to be a double box this way, just because of the way it's working out. This one will be a single step right here. We still have to cut the horizontal pieces for that one. I think it's the last of those to cut. Right now we're waiting on the battery to charge for the table saw, because we're building a frame underneath, just like we did for the fridge here. Because that's going to carry the load of those steps, and so we need this to be strong, and we need this step to be strong as well, because it's a little bit bigger than 1 step. Because we're going to be adding bullnose. This is a cutoff of one of our steps. Bullnose pine. It'll sit on here. It's going to hang over the front by about that much, and then we'll have a luan piece of 1/4 inch that goes on front of this to cover that end of the plywood, and then dress it up. And then this entire box system will all be painted white, and then the step will be stained and clear coated, of course. So it's going to hang over that much there, and then the same amount this direction after we get the faceboard nailed on there. There'll be a faceboard here about this big, a faceboard here. This will all be white, so we'll be filling all the nail holes and caulking everything and painting it, and then these will be stained. If you do this normally, you'd want this to be all painted before you stick the stain stuff on, and then you would stain the boards and then stick them on. And so it's a process. But since we're kind of in a hurry to get in this tiny house, we are going to assemble it all, and I'll come back later on and paint it and stain and all that stuff. So anyways, that's where we're at now, waiting on the battery charge. But once we get that, we'll stick a 2x6 here, 2.5 inch boards across here, 1 here. You'll see it once it gets all done. And then for the top of step here, this will be carpet, so it's going to be sticking up above there a little bit. So it's going to match that. And then we'll take one of these and rip the nose off, and then we'll biscuit joint it to this, to where it becomes like a wood floor right there. So we could bring the carpet out here too, but this will make sense because we're going to be trimming everything. So anyways, that's that. Back at it.
as you can see from that last time lapse there, we did this section here. So each section is done the same way. It's got the support, it's got a lot of glue and screws from underneath to hold the step. See if you can see any there. And then once it gets up to here, we've changed it to the double box. And so we're in the middle of it's a little bit different. So we're creating that pocket there for the door still. So it's got a backer board, top board, and this board, and then we've caulked it so it looks real sharp. We'll have a Luan skin or 1/8 inch piece of plywood up here to dress that up, and then probably an 1/8 inch piece to dress that up. And then we'll have this board for the top, and then we're getting ready to recreate the steps just like those ones, and it'll be pretty much exactly the same. So we have one piece here, one piece here, and then this piece for the top. And then we have a little template board down there, which we use to drill all the holes. It's not super important to have them all so symmetrical, but when you can, it's easier. So those are the template for where we screw down to put the actual step and screw the step together. So the reason you want to use so much glue is because it eliminates squeaks. So anywhere you can put glue on your steps. So anyways, next up, we're going to install those. I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like when we're finished. Looking pretty good. And then I forgot to mention, we're going to seal the inside of the box there with a piece of plywood, and then we're going to trim out the face. So that's coming up next.
Distance in is 2 1/4.
But yeah, like you said, if we can get through that, that would be a really sturdy connection.
You see your flashlight.
I think I got it, but there's no room for pre-drilling, so I'll just take the screws and screw down. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, not bad. This one might raise it up though. Not too bad.
I'm gonna point up this one out of the way here somewhere.
Okay.
Should give you what you need.
Just in case you can't see what I'm doing there, we just put a piece of tape at the depth we wanted. And when this hits it, it'll sweep off the chips. You know you're kind of there. And this is called a Forstner bit. And that's a template we're using to set the dowels for the spigot. So I am back sitting on top of the refrigerator again. It's the next morning, as you can tell by my cold sounding voice. But anyways, I want to bring you back up to speed. As last we left you on the talking video, we had all the uprights done and we had the boxes made, but we're just starting the trim just after I said that. So we put on the nose trim, the face trim here. This is just 1x2 material and this is 1x4 material. And it's 3/4 thick by 1.5 or 3.5. The reason we did 3.5 here is because we got that big support going underneath, and so we want to hide that. And so that looks symmetrical all the way down. But then every small box has the small trim because there's no support, and so it looks really good. We may use these as drawers one day. We might build drawers for inside of here so we can pull it out and put stuff in. So that's super fun. And then for the handrail, we decided to go with this option here. We've got these 4x4s that we cut down to make 3x3s exactly. We sent those to the planer, as you can see in the time lapse there. And then we bought spindles for the actual spindles because those would take a lot more time to make and prep. And so we bought those. Those are expensive, but those have a little dowel on the bottom, just in case you didn't see that. And then we take a Forstner bit and drill a hole in there. And that's spaced exactly, I think 5¼ inches on center all the way up. And so each of these will be in those holes, and then we'll have a handrail going from this pole to that pole, and then all these will be cut at that perfect angle sitting just underneath that. And we're going to be doing either a 1x3 or a 2x3 handrail. We were going to do the fancy handrails right there, but those are not quite the style I was going for, and those are a lot more expensive. So we'll return those and buy just 2x3s and plane it and do a routed edge on it, make it real nice. So anyways, we still have to put the bottom of the boxes in, but we'll do that later. And we still have to do the Luan skins under here, but we did start doing some trim around here to dress that up because we're gonna do the handrail up here as well. Not really part of the stairs, so I made to show you the end product of that so we can save some time on filming, but probably gonna put a 1x6 up here. So this board right here, and then this post will sit on top of that. And then our spindles will be screwed on top of that, and then our handrail across there, and then this support beam will be wrapped with a board like this. And that way we continue on down that way. So anyways, there's a little update for the staircase. I'll bring it along once we got more to do. All the sanding and staining and filling nails and painting and all that stuff will probably be in a future video, but man, check that out. That is so cool. And these posts are glued straight down to the step, and then they have big deck screws coming up from below. So that will hold that nice and sturdy. So anyways, very nice. So we'll see what else we got to show you. I'll bring you back once we got maybe more of a final product. I've already showed you this in the time lapses and videos, but I forgot to mention we made a template for the stairs here. So this just fits right up against here and up against the edge of the step. And then we drill our holes through there. They all match up exactly the same on each step. So that makes it a lot easier to do the templating and make everything exact. So anyways, I would share that too. Well, friends, we're on the steps. We're on the banister, the ballast, the spindles, whatever you want to call it. I don't know exactly what they're called. But we're in the middle of gluing and screwing those up. And first thing we need to do is screw our top rail on. This is a 2x4 that we ripped down to 2 1/4, I believe. Let me double check here. Come on. Yeah, well, 2 3/8 ish. So it's about that. And then it's about 1 1/4 inches thick. So we went send it through the planer and got it thin. The reason we went through the planer is because when you have 1 1/2 inch board, it looks like framing lumber. It looks cheap. But when you change the dimensions up to 1 1/4 inch, it looks really sharp and it looks like furniture. It's just amazing. So having it narrower and thinner makes it easy to grab onto, especially for my hands. This is pretty easy. And even for girl hands or kids' hands, this is easy to grab. So we did that. And then we've marked our post at 32 inches, which is where we want our handrail to be. Since it's a tiny house, it's a bit shorter. So we marked 32 inches there and here. And then we strapped our board on the side. We, as in me and my father. Right now it's just me because my father has gone home. Thanks to his help, he was here for a little over 2 weeks helping me with the tiny house, which was so nice. Got so much done. But anyways, we clamped it up here and then we marked our angles and then double checked it with our stair calculator. And so we've got these cut. And then we came through, because when you went through the planer and through the table saw, we got square sharp edges just like these posts here. And so we took my router with the 1/8 inch round over bit and then rounded over this top and bottom edge to make it nice and smooth for our hands. So anyways, that's all I have to say. We're gonna put this on first and then we're gonna stick our spindles on next. So I'm gonna take all the spindles out. We're going to send 2 small screws through the bottom of this, locking it to this post. And then there's multiple options for screwing, but I'm going to put 2 small screws to the top here. You'll be able to see them through the stain, but just barely, and I'm completely happy with that. The other option is to drill completely through the post and then countersink and then send a screw from here all the way through here. It's just this little extra step that I'm not really excited about. So I'm okay with the 2 screws at the top. Very small head, we'll finish them, stain them, you won't even know they're there unless I told you they're there. So anyway, so let's pre-drill the board here. We're gonna glue this surface on both sides, screw it in place to where it's in plane with the board down below. I've already done this one just to practice to make sure I'm telling you the right things. So anyways, let's glue and screw everything. I'm gonna put you on time lapse because it'll save a lot of your time, but I'll come right back at the end and explain it, but you'll see me do it here real quick. So anyways, time lapse mode engaged. Okay, in review, we've got the top board, which is screwed in from down there. We'll fill that with nail filler. 2 screws matching up there, which aren't ideal, like I said, but they're great. And then we glued each of the spindles in, and then did 1 small screw from behind, and so you don't see it coming up the stairs. But we'll also fill those and do the finished painting. So that looks really sharp. So everything's spaced exactly up against the step. Middle, right up against the step. So my dad did a good job at getting all that figured out for me. That's kind of a bunch of math. So anyways, next up is to do these ones, which is the same as this, just flat, so easier. And I think I wanted to show you one more thing on this before I send you on your way. We're going to router, well, this top of this pole is nice and round. We're gonna do that on these so they're not so sharp. And then we got the trim coming across here, which would be the bottom for those spindles. And that board is routed into the step there. So it looks real sharp. Right here. So, and then the carpet's gonna come around and go through there, so that'll look nice. So yeah, it'll be all nice and strong. You can see there's a lot more done. That's some Mosh Pause videos. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. Did the ceiling, we've done that. We'll see what comes out next, this video or the Mosh Pause video. Probably the Mosh Pause video, but we will see. Anyways, that's I think that's it for the staircase video. If not, I will come right back after I say I'm done. But thank you very much for watching. And I can't wait to finish the staircase. I won't finish in this video, obviously, because it's not the most important thing to moving in here, but we've got the stairs. We might do a coat closet and that one right there. And then we might do drawers in the single steps, and then maybe baskets and shelves in this double one and the one below it. So we're quite excited about it. It's looking good. We had to move everything over just slightly to get that barn door through and get the fridge door to be able to open up nice and flat. So it's looking really cool though, isn't it? Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know you're watching. If you're watching, please leave a comment or a like. Make sure you share with your friends. Try to get some subscribers, and let's make this channel grow. So anyways, thank you again for watching. Catch you later. Have a good one. God bless.